The Choir Guys podcast wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. To see the full list and learn more about them, visit thechoirguyspod.weebly.com/r-sponsors. Now here's a word from this week's featured sponsors. With Class Intercom, you can let students create social media content while teachers review and approve, so it's not all on your plate. We've used it for 3 years, and it's a game changer. Learn more at classintercom.com. Choir directors, are you looking for a new fundraiser? We've worked with Kansas Made for over 5 years, and last fall alone, we sold over $35,000 in pastries. They are that good. Visit kansasmade.com today. Encore Tours helps choirs perform around the world with guaranteed audiences, stunning venues, and expert support. Start planning today at encoretours.com. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Choir Guys podcast. My name is Blake Richter.
And I'm Danny Gutierrez.
Danny, teachers officially go back to school this week in our district.
Don't bring that up, man.
So do you know what time it is, Danny?
I think it's time for us to kick off season 3 of the Choir Guys podcast with a back to school special.
Oh, back to school special? I couldn't agree more. While we may not have a guest with us on this episode, we have asked many of our friends and colleagues throughout Missouri and other parts of the country to weigh in on what they like to do on the first day of school.
But before we do that, Blake, let's continue our tradition of setting goals for the year and on this podcast. So I'll go first.
Okay, sounds good.
So this year it feels different in that there's no pressing like regional national conference that I have to be part of, which is thinking awesome because 3 years.
You never have to be part of any of them.
That's true. That's true. But when you get accepted, it's kind of a slippery slope, like full speed ahead, you know. So it was MEA, then it was Southwest ACDA, and the National ACDA, and this year I'm just chilling. Although one of our high school groups are actually performing MMA, which I'm excited about, but I'm not conducting that group. So what my first big goal is just building community. So one of the things that, as you know, that conferences can lead to is that you have to get to a higher level a little bit faster than you would normally do so. So it's more of like, how do we get to this point as opposed to really taking more time in just developing the community center. Now, given developing community is a great way to get prepared for a conference performance because you want the students to like each other and get along and be vulnerable enough where they're making good stuff happen. But just developing healthy community in various sorts of ways, talking to each other, really considering each other's feelings. And so I'm excited for that. 2 is my personal goal is I'm trying to develop just my pedagogy with treble voices. Tenor bass voices have always come easy to me because I'm like a tenor bass voice. And trebles, you know, I've learned a ton. Like over the past 2 years, I've learned so much, and a lot of it has to do with even just talking to people on the podcast. But and just you know, just really seeking information. So I want to keep developing that. And third, I want to have fun. You know, that's actually a major goal, and it seems so generic and so cliche. Like I want to have fun, but I actually do, especially knowing that there's no big conference on the horizon. I just want to relax and have fun with students and really just enjoy every moment of the music making process.
When was the last time your chamber singers had like a normal winter concert?
Oh, it's been years. So yes, that's one of my goals too.
It's just all the Christmas music.
I want to hit up Christmas like there's no tomorrow. I mean, the most Christmassy things you can think of. There's no more talk of AI this Christmas. It's just, you know, it's just the happiest time.
I think you're going to compose a song that's like AI at Christmas. And like, it's just AI writes all the lyrics, like make the cheesiest Christmas song.
It would have to be something enticing. So it would have to be a plot. Like, for instance, an AI robot replaces Santa, and then it's a song from the perspective of the robot, like trying to understand the meaning of Christmas. That
I think
actually
this is
could
happening.
Work.
Nobody else can steal this though because it's Danny's idea.
Yeah, please don't. I'll have to make it soon.
So I have a few goals as well. One of my focuses is I feel like last year, my wife and I adopted our beautiful baby Ivy, and I was always just like looking 1 week at a time because that was just my reality. So one of my focuses is on long-term planning and like actually planning out like, okay, SWAC to honor choir auditions are due at this point, so we need to have them all ready to go by this point. We have our solo night that's happening at this point, so when do we have to have solos out? So I actually created a year-long calendar on Google Docs, and I've shared it with my co-teacher Lauren, and we're going to be filling it in with all these different things, and we'll hopefully do that every single year, so that way we can know, like, instead of, we have like a to-do list, but I never check it. So now we have an actual calendar that will have, it'll have curriculum things that we're going to be attacking, like some of Dale Duncan's S-Cube stuff. Those lessons will be in there for daily stuff, but then like it'll give us just one document that can give us an entire, overview of the entire year, which is going to be great. And then another goal is singing with musicality. I feel like for junior high choirs, our choirs sing with pretty good tone for the most part. Their intonation is decent. But musicality, I mean, I'd say we're still decent at it, but like we could be so much better. We're having Clint Hardy on the podcast here in the next month or so, and his choirs, man, his middle school choirs sing with such musicality. And so I think one of my goals is to be more like Clint this year in his choirs, because his choirs are insane, and just sing with more musicality. So one thing I want to do to do that is I want to train students. I want to write actual notes in all of their scores. A lot of times I'll just give them music and then have them write in the scores. But there's no guarantee that they're writing it exactly how I want it to be written. So I'm going to write in their scores for them ahead of time and then give them the music. And then they're going to know what all of the different signs mean. They're going to know what all my different notes mean that I write in their scores. And we're going to have like a training on that day one, kind of like Adrian Kirtley does an Adrian Kirtley training camp.
He color coordinates his scores too, like based on what he wants them to do.
Well, and he has them. He'll have a Zoom session going on his iPad, and all of the students on their devices, they'll be on that Zoom session. He just shares the screen. He's just writing in the scores like live, which I'm just going to try to be proactive with that. There'll still be like times when they need to write something else in their score because I'm going to think of things on the fly. And then my personal goal is to compose and arrange more. I feel like I only do 1 or 2 pieces a year. And my goal this year is to do like 5. I'm not going to try to like go crazy with it and do it all the time.
5 would be quite the accomplishment.
5 is still, that's a lofty goal. I've got some in mind, and that's just one of my goals is to do that on a personal level. So Danny, now that we've talked about our goals, what do you do on the first day of school? Like first thing, every class, what do they do whenever they walk in?
Well, when the students walk in, eventually they sit down.
What?
I know. And then, so I know a lot of people, they go through syllabus on the first day, and I think that's great. And I do a level of that, just like the bare necessities. But my main goal is to sing on the first day. Not only singing is the fun thing, right? Like singing is an enjoyable experience, and singing well is an enjoyable experience. So what I'll do is I'll end up warming up the students, and that will just kind of consume the hour because we'll do so much things to just try to make really interesting sounds on the first day of school. So for me, we establish just baseline procedures. We'll get more into that later on in the week, and we sing.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. My first 6 years of teaching, I did procedures and like syllabus type stuff for the first day of school. My first 6 years. First 5 years were at elementary school, and so I just went over like expectations in there. But I always like tried to make it fun, but I never sang on the first day. And then year 6 was the COVID year, and I was scared to sing on the first day. And I was trying to tell them like what choir is going to look like in COVID times anyway. But year 7 through now, this is year 11, I've been singing on the first day of school as well. Last year I did something different that I don't know if I'll do it every year, but probably every other year, because if I did it every year, then the 8th graders are going to be like, okay, we saw this last year. Is I started the class without talking at all. I just there are these posture positions that we do. 1 is you stand, 2 is you're sitting tall, and 3 is you're chilling like a villain, which I stole from you. So thank you.
Okay.
And
because I made that up for sure.
you totally
100%.
did. But I walked up after the bell rang. I'm greeting people at the door. There's music playing. It's a fun environment. But then I walk up and it's completely silent. And I just stare at the class with a very serious face, and I just hold up a 1. And I see, because like a lot of the intermediate schools, they do these positions as well. It's kind of a district-wide thing. And I just see what happens, to see what we already know. And so I'm like assessing what they already know coming into junior high choir by not saying anything. And then I always find like somebody who's like looking very attentive. Even if I don't know them, I'll pick them and I'll just point at them and I'll go like this. I'll wag my finger, have them come here. I put a chair in front of the choir, they sit down, and I start whispering into their ear, and I hold up a 3, and I have them demonstrate. I'll be like, okay, sit with your back against the back of the chair and say, this is number 3. And then they go, this is number 3. And then I'll whisper, tell everyone to do that. Please do number 3. And then we go through the different posture positions, and I kind of have a student lead class, but I'm like, it's kind of like they're my puppet, which is kind of weird. Maybe I shouldn't say that. They're not my puppet, okay. But like I'm whispering what they should, communicate to the class. So that's what I did this last year, and it was super fun. And then, we just got into warm-ups, and Lauren takes over and like plays this fun throw-catch game. Mm-hmm. We might go over some procedures, but it's like by demonstration. Yeah. It's not like we have a PowerPoint.
You're not lecturing through everything. And that's what I was going to say too. Like I think going through procedures and expectations is really important the first week of school, even the first day to an extent. But I think that even the discipline portion of instruction can be fun. Yeah. And I think that's important too. I think in an effective classroom, everything is enjoyable, right? So the discipline is enjoyable. Like sitting up really well is enjoyable. Being laser sharp focused on your music can be enjoyable too. And it's kind of just establishing that culture and routine right away. Like I love the concept of, you get your helper to do the numbers. So now you're making these things which are just, posture variants, and you're making it exciting for the students, and that's important. Yeah. If you're a teacher, admin, or activities director managing school social media, stop doing it all yourself. We've used Class Intercom for 3 years now, and it has completely changed the way we run our accounts. Here's how it works. You can empower many content creators, even students, while moderators review and approve content before anything goes live. It's secure, it's simple, and it helps teach students real-world skills in digital communication. And the best part, it connects to all of your school's accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Nextdoor into one dashboard. Less chaos, more content, and way less work on your plate. Check out classintercom.com and give your school's social media the upgrade it deserves. Do your students dread sight singing? Do you dread teaching it? Then it's time to try the S-Cube sight singing program for beginners. Created by middle school teacher Dale Duncan, S-Cubed is part method and part philosophy. 3/4 learning and 1/4 fun equals success. It's just about 5 to 10 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week, and your kids will want to do it. I speak from experience. Every lesson builds confidence, trains both the ear and the eye, and gets students sight reading faster than ever, without skipping essential steps. With built-in games, competition, and classroom-tested strategies, S-Cube turns the most dreaded part of choir into the most rewarding. Find out why many teachers are saying this program changed everything. Check it out now on Teachers Pay Teachers. Just search S-Cubed Sight Singing. Encore Tours is your partner for international performance travel. Whether you lead a school, church, or community choir, they help you design custom tours that hit all the right notes. You'll get dynamic venues, guaranteed audiences, and full support every step of the way. From the first planning call to your final performance overseas, Encore takes care of the logistics so you can focus on the music.
Visit EncoreTours.com to start planning your custom tour today.
Blake, I think we've talked long enough.
Absolutely.
Let's see what our colleagues like to do on the first day of school.
Absolutely. So first up, we have Nathan Cook, Logan Rogersville. This is what I went at our state conference. My goal was to go around and ask a lot of people what they do on the first day of school. And I got around to 3 people, and that was it. So I have 3 videos from the conference, and then I asked a bunch of people to submit things. So thank you to those that submitted things. But here is Nathan Cook, Logan Rogersville. Here's what he does on the first day of school. Nathan Cook,
Yes.
Logan Rogersville. What are you doing the first day of school?
Drinking so much coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That will save your life.
That's fantastic.
Will you be drinking coffee on the first day of school, Danny?
It will be necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's a little trick. My Keurig is at school, and I cannot drink coffee until I get to school. So if you struggle to get to school on time, have your coffee machine at school. So that way you have to be there to get your coffee. And I want my coffee. So that's how I get to school in the morning.
So actually, I don't drink coffee before the school day begins. I drink it in between. I drink it as I go to the high school. I just pre-order it, go to McDonald's, pick it up. It's 99 cents.
It's always a guarantee after he teaches with me. I see him on his phone after the bell is rang and the McDonald's app is open.
Yep, every day. Do it. It's 99 cents coffee. It's pretty cheap. That's good.
This is Chris Munce, Choralosophy Podcast. Let's see what he does first day of school. Chris Munce, Choralosophy Podcast. What are you doing the first day of school?
Well, we will be singing because I am a choir teacher. And so on the first day of school in a singing class, they will come to my class and shockingly, we will sing as much as possible and do as little boring syllabus reading as possible. And they will get to know each other through singing and they will get to know me through singing. And that's most of the plan.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah,
with
sing.
what we feel like, right?
Please sing.
Done.
Good friend of ours, Spencer Fleury. Let's see what he has to say. Spencer Fleury, Willard Middle School. What are you doing the first day of school?
We're going to breathe.
Wow, that's good.
We're going to sing. And we're going to dance. It's going to be a great time. Let's bring in the year.
I just love how simple it is.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to
Dancing.
have fun.
Are you planning on dancing first?
Not the first day. It'll be Friday. Friday will be boot camp for our Friday dance.
You know, it's weird. First class, it just occurred to me. I mean, it's been occurring to me. First class we'll teach of the school year will be with my son there.
Yeah.
That's could be scary.
Are you going to cry?
What?
Are you going to cry?
No, I'm not going to cry. What?
Why?
Because I don't want to embarrass him. Why is your dad crying?
Because I'm just such a sweet boy. Man, I remember when you changed his diapers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We'll
And
talk
now-
about that first day. for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll be like, hey, Zane, I have seen your diaper being changed before.
Just say that, please.
Yeah, I'll be taking roll. I'll be like, Zane Gutierrez, and then we'll talk
How's your
about
diaper?
that. This is our good friend Nathan Dame from Wiley East High School in Texas. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, choir guys. This is Nathan Dame from Wiley East High School in Texas, and just have to start off by saying such a fan of what you guys do on the show. Wanted to say on your back to school series, one of the things that we love to do is you hear people talk about foundations and how routines and things like that are super important, but we like to try to set the foundation as early as possible so that success can happen quickly and you can get momentum going inside the classroom. So one thing that we do that we stole and rebranded to fit our program is a day called Get Fit Day. It's a fancy term for choir registration, and I'm sure that a lot of people do this. But one thing that we love to do, because we do have a bigger program, is it helps us to get one of our mission and value statements of we over me started very quickly. Because when you're dealing with all those things at the beginning of the year, like uniforms, like fee collections, like form things like that, getting volunteers, signing up for voice lessons and all those administrative things, those can very quickly turn into me level things, as in what do I have to do to be able to have a successful year? So we kind of front end before the school year starts to do this Get Fit Day. We actually just finished that this morning, but we invite all of our students in and their parents before all the craziness happens of the school year. This tends to happen just a little bit before back to meet the teacher night or whatever open house you want to call it. And we let them take care of their uniform fittings and all those things I was saying, so that when we get into the classroom on day one, they are able to really experience what choir is without having to go into as much of the things I need from you kind of a deal. So we found that we don't have to pull students out as much to fit them for uniforms, deal with all the things that we need to do, because so many of them take care of that on our Get Fit Day. It also gives the parents a chance to spend a little bit more time with us while the students are getting fit, to take care of the needs. We get to do a little PR with the program. The parents get to see the space where the students sing and practice, and really just get to know us as choral directors on a more one-on-one environment there, so we can have, just almost an informal parent conference even before they do in the other classes. And we found that really gets parents more involved, more buy-in, because they understand where our hearts are, where our mindset is, and the kids get a really excited when they see the choir room. And that being the first thing that they see, because we always say that, while we might be a bigger campus, we want you to have a family where you can fit in, and know that you've got a safe place to go. And opening our doors before everyone else really has helped us to do that.
That's like even before the first day of school. Yeah. This is the second person that I've heard that does this. Clint Hardy was the first one that I heard him talk about this on the Choir Chronicles podcast. So Texas, they do preschool, Get Fit, all the registration stuff, which I love, because you could even like go over syllabus stuff before school starts. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I don't really want to go in much earlier than the first day of school, but if you wanted to get that kind of stuff out of the way, boom.
If you're a program that has a lot of logistics like that, where you are doing the measuring for students, it makes sense to do something like that. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next up, we have Jen Sengin from the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Whoop.
Hi, everyone. This is Jennifer Sengin, Director of Choral Studies at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. I am so happy to be joining the choir guys on their podcast and sharing some of the things that we do on the first day of classes. I think at any level, the best first day of class activity is to sing. In my experience, that's the best way to establish the class dynamic and get everyone engaged in some of the artistry that you're going to make throughout the year. After we sing, I'll also make sure to take some time for everyone to introduce themselves and share one thing about themselves. I like to give a really specific prompt for this so that everyone is sharing something. It could be something that you're looking forward to this year, something fun you did this summer, or even something as silly as your favorite morning beverage. Just a prompt that gets everybody talking. The other thing that you could consider is putting multiple prompts on the board, and they can say their name and then answer one of the questions that you've listed. Just, again, to get everybody starting to know each other. I then make sure to end the class with some singing so that people leave the rehearsal space after having been fully engaged in music making. I wish everyone a wonderful and beautiful start to their school year. Happy singing!
My favorite part was make sure to end the class. That's important.
That's true. Yeah, don't keep it going perpetually.
No, I just love how she's focused on relationships and how she's focused on learning in this large group of people, focusing on the individual and also singing. Mm-hmm. Here's Kurtis Heinrich in St. Louis, middle school teacher.
The first week of school, I really like to focus on starting to build relationships between the students so that the choir becomes a safe place for them to explore their voices. We start that by going around the room. Every student says their name, and then we echo it back to them. And then they get to share what they're most excited about or most nervous about for the new school year that we're starting. Once we finish that, we get into singing. The very first thing I do is have them make the craziest sounds that I can think of. The whole concept of I make a sound, they echo it, I do a sound pattern, they echo it situation. And the goal is to get every kid to feel safe being goofy and having fun. Even that kid who, up until they got to school at 8 o'clock this morning, they had no idea they were going to be in choir. They didn't pick choir, they just got plopped in there because it just was the elective that had room for them that hour. And if I can get that kid to see that, we're going to do weird things in choir, we're going to be goofy, and it's going to be awkward, but I will always do those weird and awkward things first, or I'll do it with them, and we're going to have fun while we do it. A lot of times that student will sort of buy in and actually become one of my hardest working students.
Great. So just starting with breaking down the walls and getting students to be vulnerable and using goofiness and humor to get them to that point.
Especially middle school, it's so important to be vulnerable and get them to that point as soon as possible. So I love that. Here's Holly Dahn, another middle school teacher in the Lee Summit School District in Kansas City.
One thing that I will say on your first few days of school is actually not to make a seating chart. I know it's going to be tempting. It feels like something you can do to pre-plan and maybe curb some behaviors. But in those first few days, I believe that if you let the kids sit where they want to sit, that you're going to learn a lot more about them quicker. So watch for behaviors in those first few days. See if the people they're sitting next to are a distraction to them or if they actually help them by sitting next to them. Do your kids need to sit closer to you? Do your kids need to sit further away from you? What supports do you need to put in place in that seating chart that will really help each kid thrive? And that's why I just let them sit where they want the first few days so I can get to know them. This is the main music room expectation that I post in my room and talk to the kids about. It says, if what you're doing interferes with learning, hurts someone's heart, or prevents you from being your best self, you shouldn't be doing it. So we talked through that. It's a pretty bold and important statement because it kind of encompasses a lot of information. But I do think it's very valuable because it sets the expectation from the get-go that we are going to be a supportive and safe classroom to be in, and that there's a high expectation of how they are or should be acting in my room to make sure that we are all okay.
Love it. I also don't make a seating chart the first day because I don't want to have to put in all that work yet, and we haven't done voice placements and stuff like that. So
that's it.
I love the reason she doesn't do it though is awesome. And yeah, I kept in that her number one rule essentially in the choir classroom. I think it's great, and it just ensures that we're gonna have a safe environment in the choir classroom.
It's normally like the end of the week. Maybe I'll start approaching the mental state I have to be in to put kids in specific seats. But the only reason I would do it earlier is if they were absolutely disastrous. Then I would definitely put them in the seating chart.
Choir directors, if you're looking for a new fundraiser that actually works, Kansas Made is the one. Danny and I have worked with them for over 5 years now, and last fall, our program sold over $35,000 worth of pastries. Why? Well, because the product is delicious, the process is easy, and the company is amazing to work with. Students are excited to sell, families love to buy, and everything arrives in a timely manner. It's a stress-free, high-return fundraiser that we genuinely enjoy doing every year. So if you're ready for a fundraiser that feels like a win on all fronts, visit kansasmade.com. If you're still printing sight reading examples or spending hours creating them yourself, stop. Sight Reading Factory lets you instantly generate unlimited sight reading exercises for your choir at any level, in any key, with your choice of rhythms, intervals, and even solfege. But here's the kicker. Sight Reading Factory now includes auto assessment and gradebook integration, so students can complete assignments independently, get real-time feedback, and you get grades without lifting a finger. Plus, you can send individual parts or even full octavos straight to your singer's devices with live practice. You can get all of this for as low as $3 per student. Check it out at sightreadingfactory.com, and thank you to Sight Reading Factory for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. When you purchase music from Endeavor Music Publishing, you're making a statement. Composers earn 50% of royalties, not the standard 10%. That's over 5 times more for every sale. Endeavor isn't just fair. They also publish incredible new choral works. Take the Daniel Gutierrez choral series, including the powerful new piece by Danny, Fortes Fortuna, designed for modern choirs and full of energy and musicality. Choosing Endeavor means supporting emerging talent and getting repertoire that resonates. Visit EndeavorMusicPublishing.com and see why fair pay and great music go hand in hand. Danny, we have your co-teacher, Jennifer Stammers, up next. Let's see what she has to say all the way from Colorado.
I am here at legendary Casa Bonita in Denver, Colorado, the place of dreams. So, it should be no surprise that on the first day of school, what I love to do is to get to know students. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We will start with games. We'll do a little bit of singing. I will make a fool of myself. They want to know that it's a safe place, and that's what we'll do. So, join me as we embark on this grand fiesta.
There's so much to unpack there. Great though.
Jennifer.
That was wonderful. Love it.
I love that she just focuses on relationships. That's very important to her. And I knew she would send in something good, and she did. She delivered.
Background music and everything.
Next up, we have Kate Zrust. She's a middle school teacher as well. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hello, choir guys. This is Kate Zrust coming to you live from Maryville, Missouri. I currently teach 6-8 choir just south of Maryville in Savannah, Missouri. And I love that you guys are putting this together. One of my favorite things always is the first day of school. I love it. I love everything about it. My plan for the first day of school this year is just to get my students singing. Everywhere else they go that day, they're going to get rules. They're going to get regulations. They're going to learn what they can't do and what they can do. I want to give them an aesthetic experience that are going to make their sweet little hearts and minds and souls absolutely fall in love with choir. So I would encourage you all to find whatever song it is that is living in your heart currently and just sing it with your students. You could arrange it. I've used Yonder Come Day. I've used Bring Me a Little Water Sylvie. The other thing that I always do, one other quick thing, the first week of school sometime, I take an orange hunting vest and I write the word power on it, and I'm about to show my age here, but you know that song from the 90s, the I've got the power, that one. I will play that and then talk to them about the power they have as musicians. And then I tell them it's an orange hunting vest because I'm hunting for whoever has the power. And when I catch them, reading hand signs or singing well that first week of school, I'm going to go let someone wear the vest because they have the power too. Best of luck to everyone and enjoy your first days.
She's hunting her students.
Hunting to see who has the power.
I love it. I heard that and I was like, I want to steal that.
Whenever you're affirming like good behavior, it's going to be good for everyone for sure.
Yep. Love it. Here is a previous guest of ours, Heather Orr, all the way from Texas.
Hello, friends. My name is Heather Orr, and I am at Texas A&M University, previously at Montgomery High School. This is my 31st year to teach, and something that I do the first day of school and have done is we sing. We learn the school song and we sing it on solfege, and then we sing it on words, and it's really been a great tradition for us. Another thing that we do is called speed friending. Speed friending. So what that is 2 lines, and one line stays stagnant, the other one is the moving line, and the music plays, music's playing, and when the music stops, they shake hands. And they say their name, and they can say maybe what they did this summer or something, a strange fact about them. So my strange fact would be that I'm double jointed. So hi, I'm Heather Orr, and I'm double jointed. And then the music starts playing again, and then one line moves down one, and we start the process all over again. So I hope you have a great year. Go get them.
It's like speed dating, but speed friending. I love it. Building those relationships, building those connections.
You
fantastic.
sing and you play.
Yeah. It's just funny, like, why did I not sing on the first day of school for 6 years straight? Like, literally.
You were pretty successful in your first 6 years, so, I mean, I don't know.
Never
it still worked.
Like, general music for the first 5 years, it wasn't choir, but still, I should have been doing, like, play parties and crap like that. Play parties are not crap, by the way.
I think it's more so just figuring out the why. Why do you do things? And for some people, like, the why might lead them to work on discipline and procedures the first few days of school. For me, my why doesn't say that. My why is I want students to sing at a high level, and how do I get them to that point? The first step is I got to make them fall in love with singing, and then we can take it from there.
Singing together, too. Yeah. Next up, we have Tyler Busick, who teaches in Trenton, Missouri, which is a very rural area. Can you say that word very well?
Rural.
I have always struggled to say that word.
You don't repronounce the R. It's
I
just
know.
like rural.
A lot of people say rural, and it's like,
Rural.
no, that is not
Rural.
it. Rural. It's like I have a ruler without the R. It's just rule, but it's not rural. Like I have class rules. It's rural.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, here's Tyler Busick.
Hi, my name is Tyler Busick, and I teach choir in Trenton, Missouri at Trenton Middle School and High School. And on those first days, we want our students to have a positive experience, and we want them to be as comfortable as they can be. The last thing that I want a student to do is to walk out of my classroom and go change their schedule because they have to actually sing in choir class, right? So what I'll do is I will sit students next to a friend or friends. Of course, I'm still a huge advocate of a seating chart, but in my setting, I'm able to orchestrate that pretty well because I know the friend groups really well. And what this does is it puts students at ease. I'm sure we've all seen as they walk into the classroom, and there's a lot of anxiety and tension in the air because they're not sure where they're going to stand, where they're going to sit. And this can ease some of that anxiety, especially as they're getting ready to do one of the most vulnerable things that we can do, which is make sound come out of our face, right? What also is great about this is that it doesn't have to stay that way, right? Especially after the schedule change deadline, right? So the next week, it's very common for my students to come in and there's a whole new seating chart after we've kind of established a greater sense of comfort, and it's not a major deal, right? What I'll also do is I will use this as a recruiting tool throughout the school year. So I will see a student in the hall and I will say, hey, Ashley, I noticed you're not in choir. You grab your bestie and I will make sure that you sit right next to her during choir. And you'd be surprised at the number of students that walk into my room just by having the assurance that they'll be next to somebody that they feel comfortable with. And usually if I can get them in the room, that I can keep them and have them stick around. So feel free to obviously retrofit this for your setting, but I hope this is helpful on your first day of school, and good luck with your school.
I love that because, like, you know, especially in a rural area like Trenton, he's like, and sometimes singing has a certain stereotype in those areas. And so he's just trying to like get people in his door. And so, yeah, I think that's a fantastic way to get people in his door. And he's built that program up, and they have a performing arts center now. Like, he is a freaking rock star and one of the funniest people you ever meet.
And one of the things I was thinking too when he was talking, just how great it is. Like in my situation in which, and I know this isn't a lot of people's situation, but where a lot of the students that come in as freshmen already have 2 years of solid choir training and more, often 4 years of solid choir training before they even step in my door. So like thinking about like them feeling comfortable with singing, a lot of those students just come in feeling comfortable with singing because of what happens at the younger levels for sure.
Yeah, but that's not the case everywhere.
Yeah.
Next we have Dr. Jackson Thomas at UCM.
Hi, this is Dr. Jackson Thomas, Director of Choral Activities at the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. And after all of the administrative stuff, we start singing right away. And so I will start with teaching a couple of warm-ups that we will use the entire year that can be modified. We especially go right into the national anthem, usually because that is something that many people already know that are in the ensemble. I keep those arrangements consistent. In addition to that, we will, in between everything, playing little get-to-know-you things, especially one of them, I have everybody fill out a card at the beginning of the year, and they have to tell me 3 things on that card. One that almost no one would know about them, and then 2, something that some people would know about them, and then 3 is something that is super obvious, and so then we use it over the course of the semester, reading a few of them and seeing if people can guess who they are based on those 3 points, and then that allows for people to share and things like that.
Also, I feel like that's a great way to break up your rehearsals like throughout the year. you do your warm-up time or whatever, kids are coming into the door, and then you need like a quick, like they're getting out their music, and you have them do it on a Google form, so you just have it on your device, and you can just pull up the responses. It might take a little bit of organizational effort at the beginning, and then you just are able to throw those out, and kids are able to decide who that is in the choir, which I think, especially when you have larger choirs, it makes the individuals feel seen and heard, and it's just fun to try to guess. I love it. Our last one is from the Queen herself, the one who everyone was talking about after ACDA, in addition to Heather and Danny, of course. Cindy Ellis herself from Florida. Let's see what she does on the first day of school.
Hi, I'm Cindy Ellis from Miami, Florida. I work at Miami Art Studio 6 through 12. And on the first day of school, I make sure to memorize all of my incoming students' names, every single one. I'll have about 43, 44 this year. And with the older students, I will be singing through some summer repertoire. There's summer reading and summer sight reading they had to do. So, yeah.
The benefits of being at a fine arts school. You can be like, here's your summer rep. Here's your summer sight reading stuff to work on.
But I like the learning the names. So this is sad to even admit this, but as Blake knows, I have so much. I'm good at learning high school names. I learned their names pretty quickly within a day or two. Some of those junior high names, I mean,
you were the best at it this last year, though.
Last year I was awesome at learning those names.
You were like adamant about it, and you like put in a huge effort. I could tell.
It helped because you weren't there for a lot of it. So I had to
paternity leave. Yeah.
when I'm not, and I had to do everything. I had to learn the names really well. But I mean, there's been some other years where it's been like and I end up calling them the wrong name, and then they start responding to that name, and for some reason they stay in choir and they let it go on for a while,
and they feel like scared to tell you that it's been wrong, because like, even if we're like goofy dudes, like they're still like, oh, you're an adult, and I don't want to like tell you that you've been wrong about this for forever.
I still learn things all the time.
Yeah.
Like Roan, you know that kid?
Roan.
It's Roan, as opposed to Rowan.
Even though he said for the first 7 years that I knew him, I called him Rowan, and he would respond to that. And then finally, Lauren comes in, and she starts teaching at Nick's Junior High, and she starts calling him Roan. And one day she was gone, and I said, hey, Rowan, I'll tell her the next time that she's been saying your name wrong. He goes, actually, she's the only one that says it right. And I was like, what? You've told me for 7 years that Rowan is correct. He's like, yeah, because it's too hard to tell people that it's not correct.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's not okay.
One of the things I'll do too is the students will be interested in me, and I'll teach them how to pronounce my last name. They'll be like, what's your middle name? And then I make I don't tell them my middle name, and I say, why don't you guess what my middle name is? And of course it gets slightly offensive, but it's interesting to play that out and to see what they say.
Juan.
Yep.
I don't even think I know your middle name.
We'll talk later. I'll let you know.
I think you've told me, but I totally forgot.
It's all right.
But I mean, names are so freaking important, especially with younger kids. Like, they feel seen, they feel heard, and they might literally come back to choir the next year because they feel valued. I remember whenever I taught 5th and 6th grade, and I had everybody in the building, my goal was to learn everybody's name in the first month. And it's hard whenever you have them once a week, but I would have lunch duty and recess duty where I'd try to learn their names. And the only way to really learn the names effectively is to just try things. And if you get them wrong and they correct you, you're going to remember, because you're like, I don't want to get that wrong again. But kids would come up to me and say, you're the only electives teacher that knows my name. Because, I mean, it's hard when you have 400, 500 kids and you have everybody in the building. But, like, if you put an effort to it, like, kids are going to notice, and they're going to...
Yeah, but even with no effort, you just memorize information. Like, you just memorize stuff. Like, whether it be what shoes someone was wearing on a Wednesday, or someone's weird facts about their names. You just remember stuff. So I think you actually have an advantage.
I like your new shorts.
How do you know they're new shorts?
Because I noticed things.
Crazy.
I was trying to look. I was like, what's new about you?
And like the shorts.
Like, I've seen that shirt.
Yeah,
I've seen the shoes.
Wow, that's wild. I just got these shorts 2 weeks ago.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's wild. That's what I'm saying.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to these 13 people that sent in things that they do on the first day of school. I know I learned a lot from these people, and I know our listeners also would much rather listen to other people than us. So thank you for submitting stuff. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of the Choir Guys podcast. Please don't forget to subscribe on YouTube to the Choir Guys channel so you can know when new episodes are coming out. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We could not be more thankful for our incredible sponsors. Please make sure to visit their websites and check them out in the description box below. If you're interested in partnering with the Choir Guys, please email us at thechoirguyspod@gmail.com.
You can follow the show on all social media at The Choir Guys Pod to catch bonus content throughout the week. Feel free to message us through these platforms if you want to hear us talk about something specific on the show.
Make sure you click on the link in our description box to subscribe to our newsletter. You will be notified when episodes are posted and even receive content that simply cannot be viewed anywhere else. Sign up today.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Need better sight readers? Sight Reading Factory has you covered. With infinite customizable exercises and auto-graded assignments, your choir will level up fast. Visit sightreadingfactory.com and start simplifying your rehearsals today. At Endeavor Music Publishing, composers receive 50% of sales royalties, far above the typical 10% industry rate. Support the music and the creators. Learn more at endeavormusicpublishing.com. Do your students groan when it's time for sight singing? With the S-Cube Sight Singing program, they won't. It's 5 to 10 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week, and it actually works because it's part method and part mindset. 3/4 of learning and 1/4 of fun equals success. That's the S-Cubed way. Try it today and make sight singing the best part of your rehearsal.